Hi everyone, good morning. Okay. Oops. Hi everyone, good morning or afternoon as the case may be depending on where you are joining from. Okay, I just stopped sharing and then I'll share the screen so we get started right away. StreamYard. Okay, comments. Good afternoon, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Windows. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. I'm just sharing a pretty simple slide that we would use to get our conversation started. And I hope you can see my screen. We can see, we can hear and see you. All right, awesome. Can you see my screen? Tableau software, can you see it? Okay, good. All right, very good to have you today and welcome. Okay, I'll start by saying that for today, I'm going to be your facilitator for the next 4 Saturdays. Um, it's going to be, we're going to have to do this together because 4 Saturdays will not be enough for us to be able to go very deep. But if you can help me, we can go very deep. And having said that, I'm going to just quickly introduce myself and then we dive really deep into today's task. First and foremost, who am I? My name is Etido. I think you can see my name from the screen. My name is Etido Ekwere, and I'm a speaker, and I speak around the subject of project management. I also speak around the subject of data analysis. I also speak around personal development. I think one other area that I love a lot, which I've been practicing in the last couple of years, is meditation. Yeah, I love meditation a whole lot. I'm passionate about unlocking the voice of data, particularly when it comes to social and sustainable development. I'm a professional trainer, and as at the end of last week, my service had already reached 33 countries and 6 continents, across 6 continents. Australia was the one I was waiting for, and it just happened last week, so I was quite grateful. I'm quite decorated as a data analyst. I had 2 global service awards. I've had 2 global service awards. The first one has been it was in 2021 as a featured author, and then last year and the year before last, I was recognized as a public ambassador. Okay, as you join the community, so it's also a privilege to invite you over. The nominations for ambassadors is on, and so if you get happy with my way of training you and supporting your growth, you can as well go back there and nominate me because I'm in line for another nomination this year. Okay, I'm the get shit done guy at Nimaj, so I do all the shit at Nimaj. Yeah, so so that's a bit about me. The companies I've worked for, both at home and outside the country, some of them are captured on the right side of the screen. And then you also have on the left side of the screen, you see a bit about my education. I had a background in computing, spent some time in business. I'm a data analyst. I'm an Oracle partner, but I have dropped that this year. I've refused to renew that. I'm an ambassador for Tableau. And again, I just realized that the profile you have right here is my old profile. I'm also a certified enterprise architect. So very glad to meet you. I would have loved to get to connect with every one of you one after the other, but time will fail us and then the system has no privilege for that. However, I think we will get the time to connect. So if you scan the barcode, you are going to find me on You're going to find me very happily there on LinkedIn, so you can connect with me. I'll be glad to connect with you. And then if you check right in, if you go on Tableau Public, you are going to also find me there. So just connect, follow, and I'm happy to follow you back. If you do some amazing stuff, I would love to follow your growth. All right. Thank you very much. And let us go right deep into today's work. Yeah, I'm going to try to see if you can. I hope you're all listening. All right, so I'm going into the day's work. So for the day's work, we're going to be talking about Tableau. So we'll go a bit neck deep into Tableau. So what is Tableau? I'm just going to walk around the room very fast. Tableau is a data visualization software. It's very good and effective for analysis and for visualization, one of the best. I would say, to be fair, without trying to blow the roof, it's the best. If you Google right now and say best data visualization and analysis software, Tableau will come out as number one. Yeah, and it's for many reasons though, and I don't want to flog the reasons right here. Now, it's a drag and drop interface, meaning that it's a lot easier for you to navigate the terrain than using the tool of R and Python. Depending on if you've had that exposure before, you will realize a lot of code writing and all of that. For today, what are we going to be looking at? We're going to understand the Tableau suite, which is the whole suite of softwares that are attached to Tableau. We're going to speak about Tableau Public very briefly. We're going to learn how to connect to data, how to visualize data. We would look at discrete and continuous. We'll look at dimensions and measures. We'll talk a bit about max cards. We'll look at filters if we can. I hope that we have the time to. And then we'll look at chart types. We'll look at putting it all together in a dashboard. Okay. Now, let's talk about the Tableau suite. I hope you can still follow me. Okay, I'm just going to let you know something nice. I can't see the charts that you are charting at per time, so I'm going to have to navigate in and out to come back and see the charts. Yeah. So, and it's a bit challenging doing that, but I'll do my best. I had to do the same for a previous class, so I'm going to try my best so that I don't miss out on anything. Again, someone is asking that they need to see my screen a lot better. I'm going to try. I don't know exactly how I'm going to achieve all of that. We will need your slides. Everything you need will be given. Yeah. Okay. So let's get real in now and get our journey started. So let me talk quickly about the Tableau product suite. The Tableau product suite, it's literally like, it's got a lot of things in there. The very first of them is what you call the Tableau prep. Now, some of you might be wondering, how do you do that? How do you do data prep in Tableau? How do you do cleaning and all of that? That's where Tableau prep becomes your best friend. So it has a lot of cleaning, wrangling, and preparation tools for Tableau. So Tableau prep, it's specially designed for that. However, there are little things you can achieve on Tableau Public or desktop. For the course of this training, I wouldn't delve a lot into the data cleaning and prepping. We'll go with clean data, and I hope all of you have been able to download your data. The one I shared with you on Telegram channel yesterday. I hope you were able to download the data, and I also hope you've been able to download the application following the blog I shared with you that broke down the very steps to get it achieved. All right. Now, so Tableau prep, I've said that already. So the next one is data visualization and analysis. So what is data visualization and analysis? Where we analyze and then design dashboards for people to improve engagement. Allow me to say this: no matter the quality of work you do as an analyst, if you don't visualize that work for people to see, then the whole aim is defeated. So the power of storytelling is what separates one analyst from the other analyst. One analyst can effectively tell a story in a compelling way that will compel management to do things. Now, the thing I said in one of our previous classes was this: as you go up the cadre in life, you will realize that you don't have time anymore. Yeah. So your attention span is very small. I'm sure you have parents or something, and you've spoken to your dad before, and you're like trying to explain things to him, and he's asking you one question: how much? He's asking you one simple question: how much? What he's telling you is that what you are saying is noise. Go to the summary, create a summary statement here so that I can make a decision fast. And that's the power of storytelling with dashboards. So you're not trying to go very detailed, but there are some cases you have to go detailed. But the dashboard idea is to create that compelling story that allows management to make decisions. All right. Having said that, the tool that Tableau has designed and prepared for that is what you call the Tableau desktop. Now, if you read that blog that I also shared with you, you will realize that I was careful there to capture the difference between desktop and public. Now, Tableau, in their wisdom, did something. They realized that desktop is a paid service. So you pay either monthly or you pay yearly. So they realized that many people could not afford those payments, particularly younger people like every one of us, or if you were not working for a company, but you wanted to learn, you wanted to get your hands dirty, preparing yourself for the big day when you begin to work with your skill. So what did Tableau do? Tableau, in their magnanimity, they opened up the tool of what? Tableau Public, which allowed every other person to learn and to improve their skills. So that one is free, which is the one I shared with you to go in there and unlock for your benefit. All right. So when you have done this, when you've put together work, the next thing you get involved in is you publish the work to what? A public account. And what exactly, my friends, is a public account? A public account is where you literally showcase your work so that people can see your work. So I'm going to quickly just show you a bit of what a public account looks like. Now, here is a public account. This is my public account. Yeah, my picture, the works I have done, a couple of works I have done. And again, these are not client work. These are just works you do to show using open source data to show that, oh, I understand the rudiments of analytics, and people can come in and view what you've done, your competency, and then maybe invite you over for work. Now, this is where you can be hired. You can be hired directly from here, which is really cool. All right. So I'm glad you've seen one. Go create yourself a profile on the public. It's something I believe you would never regret. Now, for this training session, this is the analysis that we are going to be digging into. This one, higher education dashboard. And I recommend that you go into that work and then just click on this star, add it as favorite, because you will need to come over and again to this work to reference it. When you add it as favorite, come to this place. Anytime you open your own profile, like I'm going to open mine right now. Once you open your profile and then you come to favorite, you would see everything that, like whatever I'm working on now or whatever I'm trying to learn, or I loved a job someone did, I favorited it, and then it's going to be here. So I can always come back to that work when the time is right. So you see things I had favorited that are waiting for me. So, all right. I guess that's okay. That's a good introduction for you with regards to public. Now, the second thing is, just in case me? Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can someone hear me? Okay, I'm sorry, I mistakenly clicked close. In a bit to try to navigate back to where we were, I mistakenly clicked close. Yeah. If we have to do the training again, I'm sure I'm just gonna set up two laptops. I think that works better for me than this. Okay. Now going back to what I was saying, so you see how public works. Public is actually designed for you to curate your open source work and put them out there for reference so that people can see you, engage with you. Yeah. And then the second one is server. Yeah. The server system is where you put a job, but this is a closed server, meaning that in an organizational setting, is my screen not shared? Sorry. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen. I'm sorry. Guys, I will use two screens. I didn't plan to use, I plan to have an in-person with you guys as of yesterday, which I gathered late yesterday that we were going to have to do remote. So apologies, I would have set up two systems for this purpose. Yeah. And it was my first time using this streaming platform. So, all right. So having said that, let's go into server. So server looks more around, it's a company's limited environment. So the people who can see the work you've done are people within a company and that are on the same network, cloud or private network. Yeah, that's where you set up a server. It doesn't mean if you want to set up a server and show it to the world, you can't do that. You can do that, but normally it's within a secured network. Yeah, so that's where server comes in. The powerful thing about server is I can do a work and share it with you, and you can also collaborate with me on that work. Yeah, so that's the power of server. But having said that, I think you understand where the separation is. So let's get ourselves into Tableau Desktop. For today, again, we're using public primarily because it's a free source. But I think when I shared the link with you guys yesterday, one of you shared a cracked version. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that on air. One of you shared a link to a version that you had, which if you've installed that, that's fine. But so let's get started. I believe everybody has downloaded their data set. Have you all downloaded your data set? Have you all downloaded your data set? Downloaded your, yes. Okay. Yes, we can. All right. Now let's go straight into Tableau. Where is Tableau? Okay. Let's get into Tableau for our very first work. Okay, there you go. Good. Okay, now we can go. We're on Tableau right now, and I think we can take it off from there. Can we get the lecture slides? You can get everything you want. Okay, should I continue? I want to believe you followed me up till this point. Now, I'm going to start by doing a first step, which is connecting to a data. Now, the very first thing you need to remember is that Tableau can connect to any data source, or largely, let me use the word largely, because something would have been developed yesterday. So even as much as a PDF, you can try it at your own spare time. So if you look at the array of data sources that Tableau can connect to, you will know it's a rich connection. It can go very deep, both to files and to servers. Yeah. For today, we're connecting to a file and it's a CSV file. I'm sure you remember that if you check the file, it's a CSV file, and CSV files are typically text files. Yeah? So we'll go to text file, and then we'll pick up the file that we're connected to. All right. So having gotten up to this point, I want to believe that every one of you are here with me. Now, I'm just going to check what, not yet, sir. Okay. Can someone please share the link to download the Tableau, please? Oh, that's too late. I can't go back there now. I think we had done that yesterday. We are yet to download the Tableau software, sir. No, I sent that already. Yes, I have. Please share the link to the data sets. Can someone please share the link to download the Tableau? Please, can someone share the link with the team, because I know we had already done that, so I don't want us to go back. Yeah, I can reshare it after, but not right now. I think we're done for now. Let's get started. We don't have a lot of time, so we have to make the best use of time. Okay. I believe that everyone is here at the moment. I'm going to show you a few quick things in this environment, and thereafter, I'm going to take you into other things. First thing you would need to do, look at this. Did you notice here you have a live connection, or you can take an extract? What is the difference between a live connection and an extract? Right now, if I make any change to this data set, the system will pick that change instantly. Did you hear that? If I make any change to the data set, the system will pick that correction instantly because it's live. But draw near, let me warn you. Don't assume. Don't assume. You know why? Because the system is always trying to work faster or to be more optimized. The system sometimes draws what you call a cache memory, just a holding memory. Yeah, a cache. You know what a cache memory is? Holding memory. Just hold this for me for now. So sometimes you might not recognize that immediately, except you refresh. Okay, but an extract is where the system pulls in a memory of that data and uses that for its analysis. It is better for you if the system pulls in the data, especially if you are dealing with a data across, if you are pulling from someone's database. If I'm working on, let's say, MTN's database, it means I'm pulling data from MTN's database. If I go with live, it's going to be too heavy across my network. But if I go with an extract, it will pull in a copy of that data set right now, and we will use that as the basis. Thereafter, we can go back and synchronize again. I hope the use of words are something you are familiar with. Yeah. Okay. Having said that, the next thing I want to bring you up to date with is look at check Telegram for data set. I can see everything as it is on your screen, but I can't see the live extract. So now the next thing I want to show you is locked up very closely in the, look at this. Do you notice these? Look at this, ABC, 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 ABC. Yeah, you can go search, and you'll find a lot of those ABCs. Yeah. Now, most of the data set, the fields on the data set are largely dimensions. They are strings. ABC, can you see ABC? Yeah. The fields here are largely dimensions. Literally everything on this data set is a dimension, it's a string data type. Yeah. There are really no numbers here. The ones that could have been numbers, like the SAT score, is not a real number, it's a range of numbers. So that takes it back to a string. If you don't feel comfortable, the system automatically recognized these things, and then assigned it a data type. If you feel, again, I want to emphasize this, when you are dealing with these things, you should not assume that the system is more intelligent than you. Yeah? So what you should do is check what the system has seen and see if the system has seen clearly. If for any reason you realize the system for a particular field did not see clearly, tap on that blue place and then set it to the correct data type. Decimals, whole numbers, date and time, string, special, boolean, geographical role, image roles, and all of that. So if it doesn't, go with the one the system found for you, strings, and that's perfectly fine. I am aware that all of you have come in the last weeks from Power BI. Am I right or wrong? You guys had Power BI class in the last week. Yeah. The screen is not clear. I can barely see. Okay. Is it better? Is it better? I'm trying to figure out the right way though. But I think we'll have to work around something. Yes, sir, we can change the quality to 70. I just used the same quality for a different crop of people and same StreamYard, and it was okay. But nevertheless, what we will do is by your next class, I will make sure that I get 2 systems ready for this adventure. My system is not blurred. It's not blurred, yeah? Okay. Let me figure this out. I'll figure this out later. I think I can continue. I believe I can. Okay. Now, having said that, can we go ahead? Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is, I think we've touched on this. I believe that most of you are coming from the Power BI background, and I'm going to show you something which is a very quick way to understand the difference, one of the basic rudimentary difference between Power BI and Tableau. Now in Power BI, what you had was an environment like this. You see, I'm using the first button, second button, and that button, if you hover on it, if you hover on that button, it will tell you dashboard, new dashboard. I'm going to hover on it. You see, new dashboard. Now, the Power BI button looked like this. The environment looks like this. And basically, what do? You create boxes around it. So you build a chart and paste it the way you want to paste it on that environment. The difference here is that Tableau does not work exactly like that. Tableau works a bit different from what that experience looks like. Now, this is how Tableau works. So Tableau is going to have sheets like this. Let's call this sheet, we're going to call it gender distribution. Gender distribution. Yeah. Then we're going to have another sheet. So how do you create sheets? The first button here, and we're going to call it high school ranking. High school ranking. Okay. So after we've created sheets, and these sheets form the basis of our analysis, I'm going to take you to something. So I'm going to come to the dashboard. I'm going to come to the dashboard, and I'm going to drag these. You see those sheets that we have? I'm going to drag these and put it in there, and then drag the other sheet and put it in there. So you have sheets like this. Does that make sense? So this is how this one works. So this is how this one works. I hope you've seen the key difference. One is like you drag them in yourself. You don't create them in that environment. Okay, I'm just going to step into your environment and see if there are feedbacks before I proceed. Please, what option do I do to import the data? I can't help with those questions. I mean, at this point, the screen is okay from my end. The screen is okay. I'm facing it so difficult. I'm not seeing Excel, text, JSON, etc. No CSV. If you don't see CSV, you would see text. Please do it again. Okay, what am I doing it again? I want to be sure what you saw and what you haven't seen. My appeal to you is that don't ignore what is happening on the Telegram area, because that's where I would drop details from. I've even dropped a few things there this morning before the class, which I will talk about at the end of the class. All right, text files. Okay, I believe that everyone has followed me up to this point, so you should be pretty fine. Let me take you one step further. The first step I'm going to take you is, how do I go about making an analysis, particularly for an analysis where I am not understanding it, sir? What are you not understanding? Ouch. Sorry, is there someone who is following me? Can you drop a feedback on the chat? Is there someone who is following me that can drop a feedback on the chat? We can't see your screen. No, my screen is not shared right now. Did you follow me up to where I stopped? Forget about my screen. Did you follow me up to where I stopped? Wonderful lecture, but the screen is blurred. I don't know about that. We are seeing your slides. I'm following you. Thank you. At least I have a few folks who are following me. Okay, I'm grateful. At least I have a few folks who are following me. All right, thank you very much. Now, I'm going to show you how I go about thinking about analysis, particularly whenever I have to analyze a data. So the very first one I'm going to do right now is, I want to show you, let me show you the data set first. So data set, here is it. I'm going to, let me see if I can find a way to make this easy. Your browser has blocked your screen. Your browser has blocked your screen. Let the icons, everyone can see your screen. Yeah, okay. Present. Everything is clear. Watching from the system. Following. I'm following. Thank you. Okay, let's see if we can get the entire screen shared. Entire screen. Yeah. All right. Can you see the amazing? I think we should be able to see the entire screen. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, let me show you the data set. So data sets, I hope you can see my screen. You can see what I'm sharing at the moment. Oh, okay. Now this is the data set, and I'm going to quickly explain this data set to every one of you. But let's say that both myself and yourself, none of us knows anything about this data set. Now, because it's Excel, we can just select the headers of the Excel. Copy it. This is what I do when I don't understand a data set. I'm going to copy it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to our lovely friend called ChatGPT. Where is he? ChatGPT. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Yeah, it's here. Now, can you see ChatGPT? Yes, okay, cool. Now, ChatGPT, I'm going to give it a prompt, simple, nice prompt that says, I have a data set with the following columns. I paste all those columns I had copied. Provide me some sort of insight I can derive from the data set. Friends, this is a simple hack, very simple hack. Look what the system has generated. Loads of information, loads of it. Now, when you go back, try this simple trick and compare it with what I have shared with you here already. You would see that that gives us a basis to start work. Yeah? So I hope you can see the work we did. You can compare it with these, and then you would see how the conversation pans out. Now, the last thing I want to share before we get ourselves neck deep into work is, okay, we figured this out. And what was the next thing I wanted to show you guys again? I think that is the first one. Okay, if it comes back to me. So now we're going to get ourselves into building our very first dashboard. And how do we build our very first dashboard? It's going to be pretty simple, and we're going to use 2 sheets alone to achieve this. The very first of the things we're going to do is this. We want to let's even look at what ChatGPT gave to us. One of the first things it asked us to do was to find the word gender distribution. Yeah? And if you look at the work we did, we actually had done the gender distribution stuff here. Can you see it? So let's try to achieve that. How do we achieve that? First step, drag the gender into rows. Now, the decision for where you put gender depends on how you want to represent. Yeah. And when it comes to representation of data, I want you to remember something today. There is a rule called the pre-attentive rule. From the word attention, you have the word attentive, pre-attentive rule. And all through the next 4 classes that you are going to have with me, you're going to hear me re-echo those words over and again. Because if you don't win with those words, you lose entirely. Yeah, I'm going to re-echo what I just said. If you don't win with the word pre-attentive, you lose entirely. Why do I mean by you lose entirely? The manager or the directors, the decision makers are very busy people and they don't have time. And if you cannot build something that they can make decision with in a very 5 seconds, the whole idea is that in 5 seconds, if people cannot make a decision from what you have spooled out there, then you are wrong. In 5 seconds. And you know, at a very short period, it means the period before you can even give attention, pre-attentive, the period before you give attention, just by putting your eye like this, bam, on it on an analytic board, you should be able to pick up all the ideas. All right. So now join me now and let's make this happen. So first thing I'm going to do is, before I run, let me quickly also bring you back. What is this data set all about? It's like saying all the students that came to what? Bayes University. You and me know that some of you came to Bayes with WAEC. Some of you came to Bayes with what? NECO. Yeah? So in the US, you have what you call SAT and you have what you call ACT. So it depends on which you came with. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Now, so that's the first thing this does. Now, also, each of these students, before you even became to Bayes in your secondary schools, you had what you call secondary school ranking. Maybe you were top 10 in your class, you were top 20 in your class, you were bottom 10, or you were bottom 20, or you were just somewhere in the middle. You did not really have any ranking. Yeah. So you have that sort of thing. Your gender is there, your student ID is there. Are you full-time or a part-time student? All of that forms the composition of these data. So it's pretty much like first year data. Okay, makes sense? I hope you are. You're getting it. So that's what the data is all about. You can go look at it again. I'm also trying to make best use of time. Having said that, for us to be able to understand how many students were male, how many students were female, we are going to have to do something. So what are we going to have to do? The next thing we have to do is to ask ourselves, from here, how do we find the number of female students? The unique field to help us achieve that is the field of student ID, because each student has an ID. Okay, now I'm going to drop it right there. But as I dragged that thing and dropped it right there, a problem emerges, which you and me cannot run away from. It just throws up everybody's student ID. It doesn't really help us. Yeah. So how do I ascertain how many students are here? Now, this is where you convert. Please stay with me on this. You convert a qualitative file or a qualitative field to a quant. A qualitative field to a quant. Now, if I want to know, each of you in this class are qualitative beings. You have a name, let's say Hussein Musa or Adebayo Chinasa, whatever your names are. Yeah. Now, for me to be able to ascertain number of students in the class, what I need to do is just count the personalities in there. So that's exactly what we're going to do here now. So you drop these down, and then you're going to say, count distinct. And I'm going to explain what count distinct does. Did you notice that it converted a qualitative file, a qualitative field, to what? A quant, a measure. By the time I count every one of you, and you're like, let's say you're like 24 students. Are you there? 24 students is a number against dealing with distinct individuals who are doing their best in their different rights. Now we have 24 students, a number to deal with. All right. So you see, we've converted a qualitative data to a quant, if a measure. Okay. The next thing I must draw your attention to is that qualitative data are represented with what you call the blue pill. Blue pill. That's qualitative, and they are called dimensions. Dimensions. On the flip side, quantitative data, which are data that you can measure, are actually represented with what? The green pill, and they are called what? And they are called measures. So quant represented by the green pill are called measures. All right, cool. Now, having said that, I believe that you are still here with me. Please help us with the data set. Please stop asking these questions. You are distracting us. Yeah, let's see the ones that are asking for real questions. Go into the Telegram and pick up those things. Everything is there, please, so that we know the ones we are seeing to address. Change of course was approved, but I can't log in through the attendance link. Okay. Okay. The next thing I want us to talk about is the fact that imagine that you have 5 friends. Sorry, you had 5 visits. Yesterday was Salah. Was it yesterday or Monday? So yesterday was Salah, I think. So let's say 5 people came around to visit you on Salah, or you had 5 visits. Don't worry, I'm not showing anything at the moment. So I'm just talking now. So yesterday was Salah, and you had 5 things on the 5 visits. 5 visits. Of the 5 visits that you had, Nasser came thrice. One person called Nasser came what? 3 times. Then Hawa came once. Eke came once. Now, one of the things you need to remember is you have 5 visits. The count of visits were 5. But in terms of counting, what do you call it? In terms of counting distinct visits, you had 3. In terms of counting distinct visits, you had 3. So there's a use case where you count number of visits. Maybe for each time a person came, he got a souvenir. So yes, she got 3 souvenirs. However, there were only 3 real visitors. So that's the difference between count and count distinct. All right, I hope you got up to this point. Ready to go? Now, having said that, you may want to make this bigger, the screen bigger for you to be able to see what you're working on. And to get you to achieve that result, turn this to what? Entire view, the fit to entire view. One of the things I want to leave with you here today is that 80% of the time, 80% of the time, you will use entire view. But there are use cases where you cannot use entire view. I'll quickly see if I can pull up a use case and then show you one simple use case where you cannot use entire view. All right, quickly see if I can do that for you. But even when I show you this, I'm sure you might not understand it, but time will help you. As you get into trouble trying different things, you will realize why entire view could not work on that experience. Now, this is a dashboard that this data set here, you see this place, the area where you have industry by market cap. What we're using here is not entire view. It won't work for this kind of data set, for this kind of representations. So you need to be more innovative when you want to use it. But largely, for more than 80% of the time you'll be working, entire view will cut it for you. Okay, I pray we get into a situation that will make us need to use other views, and I will show you. Okay, now let's continue. Now, again, don't forget the fact that I kept hammering on the fact that your work must be pre-attentive. And one way to make this pre-attentive could be using the simple sort icon here. I hope you can see the sort icon. So I'm going to sort this so that without anybody thinking, they can tell what exactly is the biggest, the students, the gender with the highest number of students is male. And the one with the smallest number of students are transgenders. Okay? All right. Let's keep going. Having established this nice representation, again, we have been hitting on the fact that things must be pre-attentive. Let's take one more step. Can you and me, if looking at this chart that I'm about to present to senior management, can you tell how many students were male, how many were female, or how many were undisclosed, or how many were trans? It's difficult to tell. You have to strain your eye to try to run down. And even when you strain your eye, you may not get the exact point. So that is where the conversation of the marks card begins. What is a marks card? All right. So I'm coming into the chat now. Any questions, drop it, then I want to answer them. Qualitative data, quant, yes. Wahab, thank you. That was a good one. So what icon did you click to change count from rows and column? Amaka, Michael, when you go to a peel, I'm just going to go back there. When you go to a peel like this, there is always a drop down under the peel. Just hover on the peel. It shows you a drop down. Hover on a peel. You can drop it down. Measure, either count or count distinct. My guess is as good as yours. My guess is good because I've looked at the last few questions and I feel everybody is in line. So let's talk about the first thing on the marks card, which is this place. Again, I had said something at the beginning of the class, which I said, marks card, the system is intelligent, but I have pleaded with you, don't rely on the intelligence of this system. Always check in if the system is giving you exactly what you want. Are you there? So having said that, what will I do? I would go here and set this as bar. It's already bar, but I want to establish it that this is what I want. And there is a use case where I will talk about this, perhaps in our second or third class. So having set it the way it is now, the system knows we are not going to jump around again. We're going to stay established. All right, let's go. Now, let me show you something. I didn't show the previous class, but I'll show you. Look at this. It's an automatic. If I duplicate these two, the system becomes naughty, turns it into a circle. Now, on the contrary, if I had established that I know what I'm doing, it's a bar, and then I did this, checked that I had established that it's a bar, and then I come here and I say dual axis, the system won't do that thing to it because I had established it that I know what I'm doing. I'm not here to play. I know exactly what I'm doing. So when you don't establish what you stand for, the system can always alter it as it deems fit. All right, cool. Now, the next thing I want to show you is, it's called the label. Am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me? No visual, no audio. 253. Screen is blank. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try. I don't know what's going on here, but let's see. I don't know what's it's giving us concern. I'll check it later. Okay. Sorry about that. I promise your next class will be a lot better. I will check all the checkables. I hope you can see my screen now. Can you? Can you see my screen now? Can you all see my screen now? Okay. What? Okay. Just see if I can pull up. Okay. Yeah, you're back. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can set up two systems at once, so that I don't have to deal with this. Okay. So where did I stop? Even though I can't really remember, but I'm going to try to see where I stopped. So next thing I'm going to talk about is, I was looking at here. So I said that, okay. So first thing first, I was saying that if these, sorry, I'm trying to set up two systems so that I can make my work easy. XXY. So that I can read your charts also. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense now. Okay. I think I'm on two systems now, and that will make a world of difference. Now, first thing first, I said we want to, if you want to see anything on the worksheet is this white space. Hmm? What should you do? Put it on the label. So now, for you to duplicate something on the worksheet, to duplicate a peel, to duplicate a peel, hold control down. So if you are holding control down, if you're on a MacBook, just hold the command line down. Then hover on the one you want to duplicate and then drop it on label. Did you notice what happened? The number is here. You can actually see everything as it were. Okay. Now, if you've come to that point, I hope we've all come there. We can't log in for attendance. Don't worry, we can do that later. Automatic sometime later. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you've come to this point, you can see that you can see these at the label. Now, let me show you a few things about how you can play around with this. So go to label. You can play a lot with this. So you can come to the text, format it. I'm not going to spend time with formatting. This is easy. You can play with it at your time. I'm going to use Arial. Okay. Now you can come to font. You can do all the manipulations you want to do here. Okay, come to font, do as whatever you want to do. It's really up to you. Then we'll come to alignment. This is where I want us to stay, alignment. You see, you can align it to the left. You see, when you align it to the left, can you see where it comes out? The value comes out here. You can align it to the center. You can align it to the what? The right. There is a use case for literally all of these. I can show you a few of the use cases. Let me just show you quickly. Look at the work we did here. If you notice that the bars in here, we used center, but this one we used right. Here we used align to the left. So nothing is bad as it were. What it depends on is what are you trying to communicate and what's the best way to communicate what you're trying to communicate. All right. Now, having said that, we now have these. A few questions. The question is, this label here, does it really add any juice to the work we are trying to present? You and me know that it doesn't really. There is no real need. So right click on it. So we're talking about cleaning your V's now. Right click on it and say hide field label, and that goes off. The next thing we're going to do is this place. It doesn't really also add any value. So I'm going to right click on it and say show header. Uncheck that show header and it goes off. Before I do any more thing in this place, I want to take you to a viz and show you how some of these things play out. Then we will come back here, do some nice work, and then we'll know we're done with this. So I'll take you to a viz. I just hope I find it very fast. Here, this one. I believe you can all see my screen because I'm seeing my screen now. I'm seeing my second screen, so now I'm more confident of what's what's happening in there. Okay, now if you look at this, you would notice that look at this viz. Can you see this one? It's so clean. There is nothing in there is no line in there. Look at this other one. It's so clean. Nothing is happening in there. But you see this third one, You see some lines. Can you see some lines? They are called grid lines. They are faint lines. So, yeah, very faint lines. You can see them, is it? Yeah, I'm sure you can see them. They are faint grid lines. Now, and again, you can see the axis on this one. On this one, you only left you with this axis. We didn't give the other axis. Again, it depends on what the story you are telling. It's the story that determines what you keep and what you remove. Now, and again, look at something. There is no line here at the beginning. This one, there is line at the beginning called the zero line. Here, there is line called the zero line. Again, it depends on the story you are telling. Now, let's go into back to our V's and check how can we create something that will tell the right story for us. I'm going to go right in there now, and we'll do this smart and fast so that we beat our time. Now, look at this. There is a grid inside this place. Now, for you to format this place, let's do it in 4 minutes. Right click on it. Are you there with me? And then say format. Right click and then say format. Are you there? Did you get that? Now, once you've gotten up to that point, what is the next thing that you are going to achieve? Now, stay with me as we get this off. Are you there? When you format, I often like to start from the right end, which is the lines. Now, when it comes to the lines, what would I do? I would remove these zero lines, none, grid, turn. So I'm nullifying all the lines on my chart. Again, it doesn't mean that all the lines are bad. It depends on the use case. But for today, I would nullify all the lines. Now, when you nullify all the lines, and if you look very well, you will notice that I am at the row level, at the sheet level. Can you see? A sheet is made up of what? Rows and columns. Now, at the sheet level, I am actually nullifying everything, both in terms of rows and columns. I'm nullifying everything. However, one thing you must remember when you are nullifying these things is that some of these things are stubborn and they will persist even after you've nullified them in the sheet. So go into the row and check. That's well done. Come to the column and check. You notice that there is the grid line did not nullify. So I'm going to take that off. None. That makes it very clean. Now, you may be someone like there's a guy in the community. He's a Zen. He's a very renowned artist when it comes to vising. He's great guy. He's called Kevin Flerage. He believes strongly. Yeah, he believes strongly that you must put a zero line. He believes it strongly. To start with, he was my mentor, so he trained me. So this is the way I'm going to bring this up to you. To get a zero line, go to what column, because you don't need zero at every time. It's a zero line for the column because that's the data is defined that way. But I don't believe that with him though. But he believes strongly in it, and I'm going to put a zero line. You can give it a color. I'm using strange colors now. Yeah. And then you have your data looking really good. Having done this, let's go to the next place, the grid. Now, in the grid, the next thing you're going to do is to remove some of these grids and again, attack it from the sheet level. Now, remove the pane, row dividers, clean them all up, make them all plain. They are good. At that level, you're good. I will be doing a video because we will not have the time for it in 4 days, in four contacts. It's not possible we will have a time for it. But in the last class I did for some of your group, someone asked that I do a video around how to format and clean up and when to use some certain kind of things. I think I feel impressed to do that video. So I will be doing that video and I will put it on my YouTube channel. You can check it up at your time. You're going to learn a whole lot about when to use what. Okay, shading. When do you use shading? Drop this off. If I turn this to black, it means I'm making the screen black. Yeah, but normally I would say go with none. Yeah, again, depends on what you are doing. But for today, none is fine. I'll try our best to dig into it. Let's look at banding. The banding is a very nice thing to learn. Look at this. Let's band it. So sometimes you want to separate bars. You could use banding. You see, it does it by step. If you want to go a bit deeper, you could want to band it by every 3, depending on how many steps you have. You can band it by 4. Yeah. So this time I'm banding it by 1. But you see, it's not banding the gender side. So come to the header and band also. That will band up to this point. But for this use case, there is no need for you to band. Again, there is a use case for banding. Okay, the next one will be alignment. I would tell you that 9 out of, or let's say 7 out of 10, I would go with a left alignment. But there is a use case for other alignment. So for now, I'm just going to stick with left and center. Look at what this would do. It turns things upside down. Can you see what I'm saying? Again, there is a use case for it, but don't use it. Don't ever present things like this for your management because they have to bend their head like this to watch it. That is not pre-attentive. You wouldn't go with that. In our subsequent class, I will talk about wrap. I'll keep it for the time being. But it's very similar to what you have on Word. Okay, so next I'm going to go with these aligned. Now, this was what we had earlier. But you see, when you align it to the left, it's cleaner, looks sharper. Keep it on the center, and then we are all good. Lastly, I will go to the font side. And because I've been using Arial, I'm going to make these 2 Arial. Okay, so Arial, make the font. This looks good. Yeah. This looks good. Now, I can come in here and say, now by default, the 0 line on the column does not look straight. Emmanuel, how do you want to make it straight for us? You have a ruler? Are you a plumb line? All right, try it on your system before you say that. Huh? Now, 2 things before we leave this part, and then we were going to get out of this place very quick. Now, by default, the system takes the sheet name it takes the header from the sheet name. But if I don't want that, I can come in here and say title. I will change it to what? Gender distribution. Gender distribution. I will make it Arial. I don't want to make it a 10er. So 10. Are you there? I could even bold it if I want. Just okay. Now, step 1. Now, one thing I would like to talk about before we go is I've spoken about this. I can talk about colors. Now, colors are used. If I want to make all of these different colors, I could just drag. I could drag this into the color and it will go off. It will change. Are you there? Now, but again, that's for colors, but you don't really want to do that. But I'm just showing you where those things work. You see size? I can use size to make this bar smaller, make it Yeah, I could even use size in an interactive way. Yeah, let me show you. If I drag these, hold control down, pull size into this place, you see the bars are as big as their what number of students. The bars are as big as their number of students. Okay, are you all right? Please ask any question. Ask any question. I'm actually monitoring your questions now. You're too fast. Depending on, no, there are some things I'm just talking about. The basic things, I'm not rushing them at all. Okay. Now, the basic things, I'm not rushing them. I'm just talking about a few things. So I've removed anything that I was too fast about now. Okay. Now, about holding and dragging allergy, what you have to do is you press control down and then whatever you want to drag. So for instance, I hold control down. I want to drag these. Whenever you want to duplicate a field, you, yeah. Okay. The last thing to talk about in this class, you still have the grid lines in your dashboard because you've not formatted. So you go back to that place, right? Click on it, say format, go to all of this place and clean up. Yeah, please go back to lecture is going on at a great pace. Okay, so someone says it's at a great pace. So let's keep going because we really don't have time. Okay. I missed you. Okay, you watch the repeat broadcast. Okay, let me not get distracted. Now, this is done, friends. This is done. Now, sometimes you want to keep some information. And let me show you this. Please stay with me. Stay with me. I want to show you something. Look at this. Male, distinct count of student ID. You see the system, but I told you don't trust this system always with your things. There are some times when the student, you want to keep some information. But look at this. The system has done something and kept it there. I can go and change it. So tooltip. I don't want this. So I would say instead of distinct count, I would tell the system the way I want it. Number of students. So tooltip is where you can keep informations. You can actually put things that you don't want to put out there that cannot all come out there. Let me show you one of the powers of tooltip using a viz. Come. Where are we? I need to show you a viz that will help you see the power of tooltips. Oh, come on, man, be fast. Find your way out here faster. All right, just stick with me. Give me 1 second. I want to show you how you could lock up so much into a tooltip. Look at this financial complaint. Just open it up. Yeah. Just give it 1 second. I want to show you the power of tooltip. Look at this. You see, we put another chart. We put another chart inside a tooltip. Yeah. Now we put another chart inside a tooltip. That's you can hide some information. It's not everything you must put out there. You can hide some things inside a tooltip, and that's where tooltips become very useful. Don't worry, anyone who is struggling with these, I'm going to share. I've already shared. So when you are done in this class, I had shared a video on Telegram. Go and open that video. Everything that we've talked about today and more have been curated in a 1-hour video. Later today, I would show you, I would send another one that will give you more information on how you can play around. Yes, so I'm going to try to do as much as I can in terms of curating videos that will help you make your transition smooth. And if you have questions, drop it on the Telegram group. I will support you. But drop intelligent questions, not something you missed. Yeah, go back to the video, and if you struggle, and I will come back. All right, let's keep, we have very short time now, so that they don't drive us away. Let's finish up with this. The next thing we're going to finish up with today is, please don't send messages during the class. You're going to distract the system. So I'm trying to keep distractions at a low. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, my friends, is we're going to go right in here. So we've done one of the analysis, which is looking at issues related to what? Gender. Let us see another analysis. Which one should we look at now? Let's look at high school ranking. So to get a high school ranking, you know what to do? You see this button here? Open it. Like you can open a new worksheet. You see, it shows new worksheet. Yeah? So when you open it, you can right click on it and you can say rename. Rename. And then you give it high school ranking, which is where we are. For us to get high school ranking, because we want to see which of you got what was your high school ranking before you came to base. So I'm going to pull in high school ranking here. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is, how do you help me solve this problem? Because, see, I've got a problem, friends. For me to be able to count how many people were top 10, top half, and all sort of things, I may need to, it's still student ID I'm going to have to use. So I'm going to again go back and do this, pop, come back here, measure, count. Now, this brings a concern to me because we're going to do this over and again. And it means that for every time in this, the system will be doing that calculation every time. So what can I do? I'm going to go to this place. Please watch what I'm going to do. What can I do? I'm going to come here. You see this place? See where I am? There's a small drop down there. Yeah? A very small drop down. And I'm going to drop it down. Tap. And I will say create calculated field. Create calculated field. Pop. I pop it on. Once I pop this on, the challenge is, what do I want to do? I want to create a calculation that will be what we will use throughout so that I don't keep doing this student ID all the time. It's very simple. I'm going to call it number of students. Now, in this case, I can just quickly again duplicate, control down, drag this and put. And I have my calculation. Now, but if you did not know what you were trying to do, look, Tableau has curated all the functions. In this place, you can see every function that is available for use. Tableau has taken out time and has curated each and every one of them. Not only has it curated these things, for each and every one of them, there is an explanation of how to use them. So if I come to, let's go with the count, these things, you see, it has a way to use it. So if I come here and I type count, the system automatically opens a brace. Something must be in that brace, and that thing must be a qualitative stuff. In this case, is student ID. So I can drag student ID into that place. You see, the system again points to you, showing you where do you want to put it. If I drop it here, it will give me an error. You see, error, red. I dropped it in the wrong place. So I will remove it. So I will go back and drag it. I drop it where in between the brace. System will clap for me and say calculation is valid. It gives me a say you've done well. Now what can I do? Okay, this. So next time when I want to get student count, I would not have to be doing that thing over and again. What can I basically do? I will drag this and drop it here, and my job is easy. My job is easy. All right. Now, having said that, I can go in here again. Don't forget I said 80% of the time the view you would use is entire view. Entire view. Let's clean it out. Bam. Again, I don't want to go into how to clean again. I'm going to leave this cleaning for you to worry. Go and worry about cleaning. We don't have time again. Now, for today, let us believe that we wanted to look at two of these charts, or this is the entire dashboard. So let's use the next 9 minutes and put it all together. When it comes to the art of dashboarding, and that's why no two dashboards entirely look the same. I'm going to just walk you around the room here a bit. Look at this one. It doesn't particularly look the same with this. It doesn't particularly look the same with this. Neither does it look the same with the one that you're trying to achieve. Neither this. Everything is unique. And the reason why everything is unique is because, one, it's not the same things you are presenting. So you must think as an artist. Think like an artist. So in thinking like an artist, I'm going to think for you today. I'm the one thinking for you today. So since I'm the one thinking for you, I've already put something together because I knew we don't have so much time. So look at it here. So because I have two dashboards, so you have these and these, two worksheets, this one and this one, I have determined that our dashboard will look like this. A very simple two dashboard system. And I can again quickly run and show you something simple that was done using a similar proof stuff. Very simple, straightforward. So this gun exports in the world. Pretty simple. So we're trying to mimic something like this in a sense. Okay, I hope you're good. Okay, now it's very simple. Look at it. We're going to mimic something like this in the next two classes. Yeah, so you see it, very easy. All right, let's go. Now that we've put together what we're trying to do, we're going to come right in here. So here, we're going to come in here now. So just allow me to extend this a bit up. What's wrong with you, young man? Okay, so now this is what we're trying to achieve. So we're going to go to the dashboard, and this is the conversation. Yeah, that's a distraction, trust me. Those are conversations that should have come yesterday. Please follow the chat first that I gave you. There's a blog I gave you. It's so self-explanatory. Okay, let's quickly talk. We have 6 minutes. We have to quickly talk about something called containers. The way you represent things in Tableau, you use containers. I will be fast, but please listen to me. Don't even try struggling to do it. Please go to the video I shared with you and walk along with that video, because if you try with me, you might miss steps. But I want you to be able to see it done, and then come back to that video and use it to walk yourself through. I hope that makes sense. Please try your hands on it tonight. You would like it simple once you understand it. The way I go about containers is to go about it using placeholders. Placeholders. One of the things that makes a difference between good representation and a poor one is good use of containers. That's all. Good use of containers, good use of colors, and you're fine. Yeah. So in using containers, I'm going to use two containers, but I don't oftentimes start by containers. I often start by using a text. So see what I would do. I would drag in text. I will call it 1 and make it 72. Bolding it if you want. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is that I will drag in another text. So watch me drag in the second text. Now I'll drag in a second text. The system wants to put it on the side, but I don't want the system to put it on the side. Now I put it the same way, and I will cut under, and I'll tell it 2. Did you notice something? The system would suggest, but just by you pushing your hands a bit away from that place. Should we do it again? See, drag it. It's because my cursor is there. It shows me that place. If I drag it lower, it takes it lower. Now, if I go this way, it takes me right. Pop 2. Wherever you want to be, drop it there. And then 72, bold in it. Okay. Now, you've seen you have text layered by layer 1 and layer 2. Make sense? Now that you've gotten to this amazing point, let's have the next form of conversation. Now, these are placeholders. Placeholders. It's now I'm going to introduce containers. So I now bring in the first container, irrespective of the container you drag, whether horizontal or vertical, you are fine. So I'm going to drag in the first container. And where does it, I want it to be where? In between 1 and 2. So see where I kept it. You see where the shape is telling you I'm coming into that place. All right, good. Because I have done that, I want to drag in this one into this container. So objects like this one, they are oftentimes black. If you look at them, they are black. You see, Esther was black before she got established. So it's black. Containers are blue. Black and blue. Objects are black. Containers are blue. Don't forget that. Objects are black. Containers are blue. You can actually, if someone can help me, drop that on the chat. Objects are black. Containers are blue. All right, good stuff. Now, I'm going to bring this, drag this one. You see, I'm standing on the head of that one. It shows me the 4 cross sign, and I will drag it nicely inside container. Look at you see the container activates itself. You see, it comes alive. You see the blue color comes alive, meaning I'm ready to receive you in here. Yeah? Amazing. Thank you for doing that, Ebenezer. Well done. So again, now the objects are black. If I double click on them, you see, it tells you the container carrying it. See, let me show you. If you double click on the black, it tells you the container carrying it. If you double click on that one, it will tell you the container carrying it. So it shows you the layers. This dynamism shows you the layers. Yeah. Okay. The next one is I want to put 2 in a container. So I'm going to drag it swiftly. This is where I want it to be. And I'm going to bring 2. Again, at the head, I drag it inside. You see? It comes alive. You see the container? It comes alive, the blue line. If you master containers, you would have learned a lot today already. Okay, now that I have done this, I'm going to activate the blue container. It's activated, and I'm going to make it bigger. So I drag it up. If that doesn't go, activate this other one, the one up, activate it, and then drag it up. I want that one to be smaller. I want this one to be what? Bigger. Now I can, because this container is already doing what I wanted it to do, it's carrying a text. I want to change that text to my first V's. Okay, that one is okay. We are perfect. We're good with that one. I don't have a problem there again. The second thing we want to do is in the second container. What am I going to do here? I want to bring these two inside there. Gender, you see? Guys, can you see? Can you see what's happening? Where I'm dragging it to? It shows you the container it is entering. If you take your hands a bit to the side, it's not entering the right place. This is very important because next time you will complain is I'm not getting it right. You need to be careful about this. These shadings. Shift your hand a bit and it will come into, yeah. If you take your hands to a bit, it's going to the container, but not the way you want it to be. So it matters where you want it to be. It shows you the container and the way it's going to enter. I love where it's going to. So it's an absolute yes for me. All right. The next thing is I'm going to drag this one, the high school ranking, and I will drop it inside here. Someone asked an intelligent question, my friends. He said, why don't we sort high school ranking? You are very correct. You can sort high school ranking. You know, we've not done any cleaning up in high school ranking. We just left it and ran a bit of time. So we've got this and this. I would now remove this. So I would delete this. And then we have our two. This one is inside the container carrying the other one. Now, friends, for the want of time, we have to stop here, but I would encourage you, both for those who successfully joined the class and for those who were not successful in joining the class, please and please, the next class will be more technical and difficult than the first class. It's always the case. But for those who go back and spend at least an hour or two and try their hands on putting together what we have put together, your work will be smaller. But for those who don't and I would be waiting for the next class, your work will be much more. Please go back to the video. I've shared a video already before this class on your YouTube, on your Telegram channel. Study that video, make something similar to what we have done today, and keep it before the next class. Before the end of tonight, I will share a second video for those who are adventurous and want to go a step above the class. Enter the next video. There are some fun stuff going on in there, which we will discuss in the next class. So I will give you a video before each class to create your adventure. All right. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure speaking to all of you. I hope to see you again on Saturday. I hope you gained something for those who came in on time. But for those who came in a bit late, please go back to the Telegram stuff, download the data set, make the installations, and if you have any problem, please speak to one or two of your colleagues. If you still have a problem, drop me a message. I would reply you, but let it be a genuine message so that I know that you've made an effort. Does that make sense? All right. Have a great day. Have a great time. See you again on Saturday.